Esaenai El Harim Esaenai El Harim Me'ayin Yavo Yavo Ezri Me'ayin Yavo Yavo Ezri Me'ayin Yavo Yavo Ezri Me'ayin Yavo Yavo Ezri. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. Esaenai El Harim Esaenai El Harim. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Congregation Ormi, especially if it's your first time here ever or just in a long while. So we're very glad to have you here with us as we celebrate this special Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, known as Shabbat Shuvah, which means the Sabbath of returning. So we're returning to the goodness within us. Sometimes we get a little distracted by the non-ideal things, and we come to this period of reflection and we realize who we want to be in this new year, who we haven't been, who we'd like to become. So as we reflect, we'll also be thinking about not only our own spiritual lives, but how our spiritual lives are intertwined with the life of our community. And we're going to have some special guest speakers from RISC sharing how we can get more involved in our community and to engage in the work of Tikkun Olam, of repairing this world together. So we begin our service together on page 1 with the responsive reading. We join together this evening in prayer, in poem, and in song. Many messages will flash across our minds as we sing, chant, and pray. Listen to the voice of the Jewish spirit and be strengthened in your resolve to fashion a better year for your loved ones and for yourselves.
We gather here from many places, from different pasts.
For though we stem from a single people, each of us has met that people in a different house, a stifling, fettered one, a warm, accepting one, a concerned, empathetic one, a defensive, bitter one. Yet from the house in which our spirits grew was sown in each of us a common recognition.
The word Jew somehow related to us, and however we might reach out to others to embrace all people, a part of the remained within that special word, struggling to find a place within Jewish life.
We see that place now. We are not alone in the direction of our single lives, in the judgment of the person we are becoming over against the person we yearn to be. We seek our place as well through the judgment of our people and our tradition, daring to put questions to the night and to the past, strong enough also to let the past question us.
We meet in celebration and in search, in judgment and embrace, willing to embrace once more upon our confirmation with time, with what was, is, and is yet to be.
We come together as a congregation in order to share in our lives as Jews, to be part of the community of Israel, past, present, and future. Here lies the very essence of our way of life. Every person must share in every other person's life, and not be independent, leaving oneself alone, either in sorrow or in joy. So I'd like to invite up Nancy Nelson to light our Shabbat candles in the middle of page 2.
May the brightness of these candles banish all gloom, anxiety, and care from my heart and from the hearts of my loved ones. May this Shabbat bring us peace and serenity, joy and rest. Keep aglow within us, O God, the spirit of gratitude for your many blessings, so that we may know the sweet taste of contentment and the rich harvest of sharing. Kindle in our homes and in our community a deeper love for one another, for our people, and for all humankind. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. At this point in our service, we think of the week that has passed, and we hold on to all of the good things from this week. So if you had an experience that inspired gratitude, if you have some good news to share, no matter how big or how small, I invite you to share that joy with our community now. Yeah, Nancy?
I was able to celebrate last weekend with lots of families. I had my 40th high school reunion with my longtime family, and I had a record number of people at my house to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, which was extra special since I basically have no family anymore. So, that family.
Mazel tov. I'm glad that you still feel the love and support of family. Pat?
I got to see every one of my grandsons.
Awesome.
Not this son, some of them, so it's great.
Very good. See grandchildren. David?
Well, as long as we're talking grandkids, his baseball team, when he's 10 years old, they won the Metro Charlotte Championship.
Wow.
I got pictures on this.
Awesome.
Jenny probably has.
Well, mazel tov. So we thank God for all of these blessings and for the blessing of simply being alive for this moment in time. The words of Shehechianu found at the top of page 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Continue with a song to welcome Shabbat, the abbreviated version of Lecha Dodi, Boi Kala. So we'll sing just the last line at the bottom and then the first 2 lines at the top. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikah Bila. and we rise together in the middle of page 4 for our official call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. We continue with Roll Into Dark. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. And before the Shema, we'll do a special recitation for this time period. So some people say words similar to this every night before they go to bed. It's tradition to say the Shema in the evening when you lie down, and then again in the morning when you rise up. And in the evening prayer, sometimes we never know what the night will bring. And just in case that's our last night, we want to make sure everything's kind of right in our lives, right? Did we apologize to anyone we may have hurt? Are we still holding on to anger that it might be time to let go of? So we can't control what other people do, but we can control how we interact with others and how we feel about our own experiences. So if you'd like to join me in this reflection before the Shema, let's read together. I hereby forgive all who have transgressed against me, whether on purpose or by accident, whether recently or long ago, whether in this lifetime or on any other plane. Let no one be punished on my account. And we rise for our most important prayer, the Shema on page 5. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'adecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom halevavecha vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kadoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 6, Reflection on Love. Love your neighbor as yourself. I am Adonai. Leviticus 19:18. A Hasidic interpretation of the last words of this verse, I am Adonai, explains this verse as meaning, you think that I am far away from you, but in your love for your neighbor, you will find me, not in his love for you, but in your love for him. He who loves brings God and the world together. We continue with Micha Mocha at the bottom of page 6.
Nora tehilot sefele yalalai yai nai 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 yai la 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 yalalai yai nai 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 yai la 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 yalai nai 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 yai la 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 yalalai yai nai 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 yai nai 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 nai.
And we continue with Vishamru, the top of page 7.
Veshamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש
Reflection on prayer. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits and God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor build a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a broken will. Please rise for our central prayer, the Amidah.
Adonai. Svatai tiftach. Ufi yagi. Ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai. Svatai tiftach. Ufi yagi. Ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai. Svatai tiftach. Ufi yagi. Ufi yagi tehilatecha.
And remember, we have a few special insertions for the High Holy Day season. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevi geula lifnei bneihem, Le'man shemo be'ahava. Zochreinu lechaim, Melech hafetz b'chaim, V'chotvenu b'sefer ha'chaim, Le'mancha Elohim chaim, Melech ozer u'moshiach u'magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol, Atah Rav le'hoshia, Mechalkel chaim le'chesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech memit u'mechaye, U'matzmiach Yeshua, Michamocha av harachamim, Zocher yitzurav lechaim berachamim, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Please be seated. We continue with a quiet moment for personal prayer or reflection. Page 10.
Shalom Rav.
Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. L'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. And we continue with the special addition to the prayer for peace that starts with B'Sefer Chaim in the middle of page 10. B'Sefer Chaim bracha v'shalom u'farnasa tova nizacher v'nikatev lefanecha anachnu v'chol amcha Beit Yisrael lechaim tovim u'lishalom. Page 11. The perfect year. It was not a perfect year. But has there ever been a perfect year? Has there ever been a year when all the love and health and fame we wished for one another ever came to pass? Yet, despite the disappointments of these, our complex lives, we learn to make do, make better, make believe that better days will come. And if we do continue to believe, who is to say the perfect year will not yet be here? Please rise on page 12 for Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu v'aneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh
tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu v'Haneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu v'Haneinu, Ki ein banu masim.
Please be seated. At this point in our service, we think of loved ones who are in need of healing. Tonight, we think especially of Sarah Foote, Alan Arkava, Alyssa Freeman, Renee Gould, Amy Kane, Alex Simon, and Linda Woods. Are there other loved ones whose healing we wish to pray for tonight?
Gary Patterson, Nancy Salzberg.
With the power of community, we pray for their refuah shlema, their complete healing of body and or spirit. The words found on the middle of page 12. Mishebeirach avotenu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We rise for Aleinu on page 13. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. We remain standing or seated if you need a break while I read the names. At this point in our service, we think of loved ones who have passed away recently or at this time in years past. Tonight, we remember with love the yahrzeits of Raymond Cohen, father of Deborah Cohen, Robert Fierstein, cousin of Renee Gould, Frida Foyer, mother of Stan Foyer, Jules Foyer, father of Stan Foyer, Anna Tanya Foote, grandmother of Sarah Foote, Esther Grainer, mother of Suzanne Horton, Susan Hurt, longtime member of ORME, David Leibovic, brother of Steve Leibovic, Arthur Levine, father of Scott Levine, Roberta Lutz, sister of Beth Levine, Eleanor Miller, mother of Martin Miller, Lionel Paradise, grandfather of Nicole Rossi, Naomi Paul, mother of Isabel Paul, Ann Presser, cousin of Judy Katzen, Helen Wires, mother of Junie Engler. Are there other loved ones we wish to remember tonight? Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be a blessing. We remain standing for the mourner's Kaddish on page 14. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort for all who are bereaved, and let us say, amen. Please be seated. We conclude the service portion of this evening, at the top of page 15, with Esa Einai.
Esa
Einai, El
Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. Esa Einai El Harim. Esa Einai El Harim. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth.
So I'd like to invite up Marilyn to introduce our guest speakers.
All right, well, we have three guests here just to help introduce everyone to RISC, which is Rich Renters Involved in Strengthening Our Community. ORME has been a member of RISC for, I don't know, 22 years, but not everybody has gotten up and engaged with risk. So Steve was very generous to initiate this visit. So our speakers today are Steve Salzberg and Pastor Don Coleman, who's president of RISC and pastor of East End Fellowship. And we also have a guest, our liaison to RISC, our organizers, Homie Gomez. So we can all talk to Homie afterwards. So Steve and Pastor Don would like to come up and give the story.
Wow. So many old faces and some new ones. It's good to be here. During this time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we are asked to try to make peace with, ask forgiveness from anyone that we've wronged, slighted, or injured. During this time, we also are asked to make peace with God for any transgressions made against the deity. Notice I'm not giving God a gender in this conversation. So, traditionally, we are forgiven these transgressions against God on Yom Kippur. So the question remains, how do we not sin against God with our actions this coming year? You're fortunate, Ormy. There are several ways that this congregation does the work of loving kindness and justice, to quote Micah 6:8. Just to visit your website lists 8 ways to act for loving kindness and justice. Feed More Food Bank, Foster Care Kids, Habitat for Humanity, Home Again Men's Shelter, Mitzvah Day, Religious Action Center, Reestablish Richmond for Refugees, and, of course, RISC. What is interesting about this list is that RISC stands alone as being the only organization that finds solutions for systemic injustices in the Richmond area. After the High Holy Days, it's important that we expand our circle of concern and also work to repair our relationships with the wider community. Have we been doing enough to get to know our neighbors across town about what troubles they face each day? Have we been taking action to alleviate the suffering of fellow Richmonders? One of the obstacles to doing this important work may be that we don't know how to get started with this big task. And here's where I have an answer for you. And you're going to guess it, right? It's RISC. RISC is already set up to help us do this sacred work with other congregations from different racial and socioeconomic backgrounds. It brings us all together so that we can build bridges and achieve more than we could achieve alone, and maximize our efforts for Tikkun Olam, repairing the world in the new year and beyond. Yes, make Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, real in our lives. At a Rosh Hashanah service recently, I found this reading. Let the pursuit of peace and justice be our highest good, and may all people make peace their responsibility. Let the Torah be a light that guides our lives towards empathy and understanding, towards generosity of heart. So how does RISC do this? Let me introduce Pastor Don Coleman, RISC co-president, and tell us what RISC is working on and working towards this year. Pastor Don?
Wow. First of all, I just want to say I am so absolutely honored to be here. And when Steve Salzberg asks you to do something, you kind of don't have an option. So he asked me to come tonight, and you know, quickly what I want to talk about is what we are doing. And the 3 topics we're working on is affordable housing. Anybody know we have an affordable housing crisis? legitimately a crisis. I live in the east end of Richmond, in the city, and we have public housing all around. But in all the areas where where it's not public housing, they're building homes, okay? But they start at $400,000. This is in the east end of Richmond, in the city, blocks from public housing. And so we have an affordable housing crisis. And, you know, all this was happening way before COVID, where half of all Richmond residents cannot afford their monthly rent. In 2014, Risk got the city to start putting money into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. However, not enough money was put in, and it has not resulted in units for the households in the most need, okay? Those with the most need is what we need to be focused on, because they're building houses in the East End. But 400,000, affordable for who? Okay. In 2021, we won passage of an ordinance that established a dedicated stream of funding for the trust fund, a dedicated stream, money to go right into it. The dedicated stream was to start out with $2.4 million, but was projected to grow to $10 million and beyond within a few short years. However, the city administration refused to follow. Can you believe that? You make a law, and then you go like, oh, we're just not going to do it. That's craziness, right? This past spring, however, after continuing to cry out, and that's what you guys with RISK, the reason you want to join RISK, because we come together collectively, and this is how we press things through. Continuing to cry out about the crisis, the city administration agreed to allocate an estimated $10 million in bond revenue to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund for the next 5 years. Do the math. 5 times 10 equal? Okay, very good. I'm concerned there a little bit. Okay, that's a little lower. However, in July, we learned that the city plans to eliminate the trust fund. Yeah, who said that? Who said wow? Yeah, I mean, because it's like that, like, wow. Yeah, that's what, they just keep doing these crazy things. And so what we've done, our work this fall, will involve calling on the city to halt these plans and instead identify additional funding beyond the bond program revenue that can go into the trust fund. I believe even this week, we went to a meeting. We had some people show up at the Affordable Housing Trust Fund meeting and stand against getting rid of the trust fund oversight board. Hey, you know, so I'm all off script here. You are awesome, right here. That was amazing. I want you to know, like, wow, that was pretty awesome. You and what the other, like, yeah, you too. Yeah, y'all were like, wow, that was amazing. Okay, sorry about that. All right. Then our other issue is gun violence. This past week, I think 5 people were killed. Three weeks ago, we had went to the mayor. He hadn't met with us in several years. He did something stupid, offended some teachers. And so then the teachers told him, like, hey, we want to meet with you. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'll meet with y'all. And then they said, we're bringing RISK. Oh, my God. But, hey, still got to meet with, we met with them. I was one of the people in the room, and constantly the mayor and his chief of police. And we're already doing that. We're already doing it. We're not going to do group violence intervention, which we've been pushing them to do for over 3 to 4 years. Since 2020, we've been asking them, please, could you do this? Could you do this? Real Life, a local organization, got money from the state of Virginia to do it in Richmond for free. You won't even have to pay for it. He still said no. But today, in the Richmond Free Press, that's the kind of African-American newspaper, front page, the Richmond Redevelopment and Housing Authority, that's over all of the public housing, is partnering with this group, Real Life. They have been doing the program in Hopewell. Now they're going to bring it to Richmond, to the public housing. Yeah. Front page, front page. And what was hilarious in the article, the reporter who has been following us, they put a picture of Risk on the front page saying, this is the same program that Risk was talking about 3 weeks ago, and the mayor rejected it. And the chief, same program. And so we're excited because we know that already in Hopewell they're seeing some good results. We're going to see some good results here in Richmond, and then it can spread to the entire city, not just the public housing. My time is just about up. Healthy homes, healthy homes. A few years back, I'm a lifelong Richmond resident, and a couple of years ago, RISC, on a national level, we're a part of an organization called DART, and they really started to press into what you call environmental justice. And so they challenged us to look around our city and find out ways where we could be more engaged as faith-based community organizing to involve in environmental justice. And I was shocked. What we discovered was the number of people, over 6,000 people that live in mobile home parks that are, it's just unbelievable living conditions in the United States of America, for in Richmond, Virginia, to be living with holes in the floor, rodents running all through, the walls collapsing, because the mobile homes are just in such disrepair. So we fought, got engaged, and we were able to get a few $100,000 to do a repair program. It's taken them over a year to actually repair any homes. Homie, have they repaired any homes yet? 2. You heard me say thousands, okay? They've only repaired 2. After they allocated the money, they make the application so hard, but guess what? Homie is on the front lines of that because he's working, because most of the people who are involved in that are our Hispanic brothers and sisters who, again, with language barriers and all of that, and so we're assisting them in that. Over the past few years, Steve is going, come on up, Steve, because that'll make me move out the way faster, okay? In affordable housing, we've been able to get 935 units. Do y'all clap? Do y'all clap? Do y'all clap? Okay. That's good, okay? We've also helped 3,000 families, you know, doing that COVID stuff when it was really hard to pay your rent and stuff. We fought for a rental assistance program that allocated over $6 million. 3,000 families were able to stay in their homes, okay? And over the years, we've also helped hundreds of low-income job seekers through the VCU pathway programs. I'm telling you, like he said it earlier, I looked around the city also. There's nobody doing this kind of organizing for the people who need it the most. RISC is doing it, and we just appreciate you guys being engaged. Thank you. I think I stayed on my time. I think I did.
I had no idea that GVI was coming at least to part of the city. That was news to me. I am so excited, it's hard to imagine. Yeah, wow. I mean, it's been a very long road with the mayor saying, that's what he said. Well, yeah, well, oh, that's right. He called us a bully. He called us a bully because we were asking him to do his job. Anyway, let me finish this off with sort of talking a bit about where RISC is and what we're doing. This is the beginning of the RISC year, what we call the listening process. That over 20 faith communities that make up RISC are having hundreds of house meetings to bring their congregants up to date on the RISC issues, and more importantly, to hear their stories and engage with other congregants. Following the listening process begins the research to action process, where we research best practices for solutions to the issues we're working on and learn how to engage with those that can implement those solutions, and how to find organizations that we can partner with. and, of course, to understand, and I think we've talked about this just now, that justice can be a long-term process, and we need to be determined and patient. On the tables as you entered are two things: a flyer describing risk and giving what is probably already out of date information about the issues we're working with, but thank you, Pastor Don, for keeping us up to date, and a sign-up sheet. The Oramy House meeting is October 8th, is that right? And it's here, and there's a sign-up sheet for you to come and sign up and add your voice to the conversations we are having about what Risk is doing and where we're going. So, and you have two Oramy leaders, the team leaders, Marilyn Bresno and Nancy Nelson. So I'm going to invite them to join me up here and talk about the House meeting and answer any questions you have. So it's your turn to talk to us.
So as Steve said, the meeting is on October 8th. That's a Sunday. It's going to be at 10 o'clock, although if you come early, we're going to have bagels and coffee, so please come early and enjoy that. We chose a Sunday morning, a little bit later for those people that don't have to be up early Sunday morning for religious school, but so you can come in, get it done, and have the rest of your day, but also to hope that we can get some of the religious school parents to stick around and join us so we can grow the organization and grow our network.
So we've given you a lot of information, both in the details about when things are, when the House meeting is, but also a lot about Risk and the process. It's open to you. Do you have any questions you'd like to have us follow up with? Well, we've done such an amazing job. You're all done.
And I know over the years, I see a lot of faces of people that have been involved here and there, so I don't think it's brand new for most of you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. If you could kindly return your service handout to the table near the entrance and grab one of the Risk flyers, and then join us in the back for Kiddush and Motzi, the blessings over wine and bread. It's open to everyone. You don't have to be Jewish to partake in these blessings. Shabbat Shalom.